Of course, Eden Strongholds and Slayer on the rig. Gentlemen, thoughts on this layout? Thought on these maps?
I think it should be an XL 3-0, honestly, looking at those first three maps. I mean, Empire Strongholds I know is a game type that they are kind of hit and miss on, but I think if they take this Empire Strongholds, I mean, they go into, what was it, Truth Slayer game 2? Yeah, I think that's a really strong game type for them, so if they win this first one, they should really go 2-0 up in the series after that Truth Slayer win, and then game 3, even then, they have that 2-game buffer, but we've seen in the past already so far in the last chance qualifier that might not be a given to a series win, as we saw Endpoint obviously being reverse swept.
Yeah, and Harry, I wanted to ask you, what do you think this FrenchConnection squad have actually got to do to upset Excel here?
I think they've had the right game types. Maybe not Fathom CTF, but especially Empire Strongholds, and maybe Truth Slayer, but we know Excel have been pretty good at Truth Slayer in the past, so it's going to be interesting to see how exactly it's going to come up. But if FrenchConnection do take this first game type, which is a game type they could easily win, it should give them the momentum to think, wow, we could actually take this 4th spot going into Denver. So I think if FrenchConnection win the first game, it's going to be up and down depending on how the series go across. But if Excel win the first game type, then FrenchConnection may slop afterwards during the series.
Well, the game is loading in the background, so we're going to get into the gameplay as soon as possible. One player I feel we have to mention on this FrenchConnection lineup is Solar. X-Supremacy, that iconic photo that was captured of him back at the Wembley event we had, where he broke down in tears, showing how much that win meant to him and that qualification for Worlds. He's definitely going to be the player to look out for me on this FrenchConnection squad. But Excel versus FrenchConnection is going to be game number 1 here. Strongholds on Empire. Gentlemen, who do we want to start this one off with?
I think it's only fair we start off with Solar, right? I mean, the reason he was parted ways with the Supremacy squad, fair enough, maybe not up to kind of his own decision, but he was very inconsistent on that French Supremacy squad. We've seen what Supremacy have done in HCS London with a more consistent 4th player in Nurix, and that's one of my biggest concerns about Solar here on this squad. If he can be consistent, I honestly think this FrenchConnection squad have a good chance of winning this. I mean, look at this right now. They already have 2 clots in their favor. They have Chick with this overshield and now the plasma pistol as well. They're in a really healthy position to start this game off and get a decent chunk of time.
Yeah, they really are. And as you say, not only the overshield, but getting that plasma pistol so important, because it means that his overshield is going to be much more difficult for the XL squad to get rid of. You can see him landing some quick fire shots there with that plasma pistol, but not doing too much damage at the moment. And well, they did have the advantage as far as weaponry, overshield, etc. was concerned. They have let XL actually get control, but there's going to be a huge double. Chick turning it on right now, using that new combo and landing the double kill. And look at this immediately now. The FrenchConnection guys are moving on that pit, and that should be turned straight back over.
Yeah, you say that though, it is contested. Oh, no. And there are bodies in the pit right here from XL. Wow, you thought for sure that was a given, and honestly, I agreed with you. They really should have been taken out with those first 2 slays, but that again just goes to show how important that turbine control was. I mean, we saw Chick on our screens. He was constantly worried about that turbine, and it allowed players from XL to flood that high pit, get bodies in there, and as a result, it's XL who do maintain scoring for now.
And it's quite weird as well now, because no one seems to be outside even taking turbine just to make sure they actually get out of it. But
triple
FrenchConnection now straight afterwards, they're going to get that over possibly, but sadly just miss out. But right now what they need to do is they need to try and hold outside and get ready for an X overshoot what comes up in the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, exactly that. 20 seconds odd until the next couple of power-ups, and you can see Flux and his teammate out here kind of just working outside, making sure they put pressure on that base. That's going to distract the FrenchConnection squad while these power-ups are coming up. That's why you saw Ramirez, I believe that was, actually try and push into that base, already making Solar weak. Flux, by the way, on a killing spree, but this next power-up, which is coming up right now, is going to be so key for the rest of the game.
Yeah, fight is going down, as you can see here. 2 players pushing aggressively. It's Snipe Drone and his teammate trying to put the pressure on. I'd like to see Snipe Drone push forward, but he's actually going to go straight in for that overshield. Can he get it into his body? No, he can't, so it's going to be a burn. And also, 3 players have now dropped for the guys on Excel, so they're going to be moving on the pit, the FrenchConnection guys. And look at this Chick. Not only did they manage to get the burn on that on the overshield, sorry, wow. Chick with a double as well with 1 grenade. He has this camouflage. They're going to have a momentary triple cap here, gentlemen, and it's still 2 dead here for Excel.
Yeah, big plays from both sides so far. I mean, we saw Flux with that awesome triple in the pit. Chick and the squad, despite them not grabbing that overshield, they made Snipe Drone burn it, and they weren't distracted by the plays coming in from the XL squad. That's so important for them to maintain their composure in this series. They need to make sure they don't get distracted from the likes of Ramirez, who make those kind of plays to throw you off guard while those power-ups are coming up. So very well played by the FrenchConnection squad, and Chick here is still playing his life with this camouflage, and as a result, it's a killing spree.
Yeah, a killing spree, and he managed to keep the pit in the control of his squad as well. And look at this, just 10 points the difference right now. Flux is going to be trying to take down Solar. Teammate comes in to help him out, but just as I say, just a few points now separating these two teams, and it's going to be once again this battle for the pit. Cruz is in there. This could be a lovely flank. Bad timing here for the XL guys. Look at this, Chick once again picking up a double, immediately leaving as well to try and put pressure on this red base. His teammates will be in position, so they're going to turn over the blue base back into their control. Snaky to be caught out here between Chick and Cruz. Cruz does clean that one up, and looks like Excel are going to have to once again rotate here, and it's going to be a momentary triple cap once again for this French squad.
Bit of a lack of concentration there for me, in my opinion, from Snaky. He should have known that Chick kind of dipped into that stronghold a little bit. He should have seen that stronghold indicator ticking, and he would have known that there was a player in there. But Cruz now is the last alive here for FrenchConnection. Good opportunity here for XL to reinstate control on the map. You can see the amount of bodies they have in pit, and Cruz here is going to try and recap this pit with only one slay. Not sure if this is a good idea, but look at this. The slays are coming in around, and this could actually pay off here for Cruz and the boys.
I was going to say, Chick's been playing really well so far, especially with his camo players and everything, but XL need to make sure the camo does get taken next time, because even though they do have overshield and Flux can now abuse outside and make sure he can take control, Chick actually plays really well with camo. He makes sure he's patient and he makes sure he tries to get any kill on the board, but right now it looks like they will get pinned around red side and tower and need to think about getting overshield side next.
Yeah, speaking of Chick, he actually did just grab that last camouflage as well. Don't forget, he had the previous one, he's got this one now as well.
Not only that, Chick, of course, used this so well last time. He's coming under heavy fire, though. It's going to be Snaky who finally gets the kill on him. So that pretty much going to be ineffective camo, and I believe the overshield was actually taken down as well. That was Flux who did have it. So power-ups back out of the game, and it's going to be now Excel once again who are going to take a lead as they now have control of that pit and the blue base. You can see on the player outlines, it looks like all the players from this FrenchConnection squad are just sort of trying to look for slays at the moment, gentlemen. That's so important in these strongholds game types, not just jumping straight into strongholds, because, I mean, you're going to be lit up on the map. It's like a giant radar, essentially. So making sure they're taking their time to try and get their kills, but it's actually Excel who are winning their battles, and here we go. Total control now for Excel, and you're just going to watch the bottom right-hand side of your screen, and we're going to see those points rack up.
Yeah, big game for Flux so far as well. That's the second killing spree I think we've seen from him so far, so you'd have to say he's on at least a +8, +9 kind of spread right now, as long as he hasn't been kind of pointlessly running out and dying and making sure he's picking up a +1 every single time he dies. And you've got to say, if you're having a big game like that, we've seen big games from Flux in the past in these online competitions. If he has those big games, you have to say XL, more than likely they're going to win games.
I was going to say the exact same thing as well. With his 2 sprees as well, he didn't have a fantastic start because he did get out pistoled by Chick when he was on really low health, but it seems like right now, when people are in that kind of situation, as a professional player, normally you've got to make sure you cannot be in that circumstance, because with players like Flux, he's not the sort of guy you want to be on tilts, considering he's one of the most individually talented players on XL, but the way he's playing now, it looks like they could carry on taking this and probably get a triple cap if they go for the red side.
Yeah, this could be it. That's 2 dead here for the FrenchConnection squad, and not only that, look at the time in the bottom right-hand of your screen. Those power-ups are going to be popping once again. That's going to be more deaths coming in for the FrenchConnection squad. So this should be an overshield in the hands of Excel. And not only that, they have map control. They have all of the players spawning in the tower. It's just going to be easy pickings here. Snipe Drone's just going to be laying down fire with that DMR. He's going to be challenged here by Chick, though, who takes him down. Flux has secured himself the overshield now. Flux going to be met by 2 players here from FrenchConnection, but perfect shots coming in from Flux. Can he find a triple as well? Chasing it down. Can he hit a shot here? No, Ramirez finishes that one off, but I think that might pretty much be all she wrote, gentlemen. One play here, Cruz going to be on the plant, taken down by Snaky with that plasma grenade. Triple cap in effect, 96 points on the board. Gentlemen, that's GG.
That is GG, and a lot of it is thanks to Snipe Drone here just being a nuisance. Fair enough, the game's over, and XL will take that game number 1, 140. But while we were watching that team fight over in blue, Snipe Drone, who just hopped on board with, was constantly contesting the French spawners coming off, trying to get that base over there at red. So massive props off screen there for Snipe Drone. And check it out, we said he was having a big game with those 2 killing sprees, a positive 12 spread from Flux. What a game.
Yeah, not only that, 1 triple kill, almost had that 2nd triple kill, and I think he had pretty much every single overshield as well. So you have to give XL props, timing those power-ups on the other side of things. Pretty solid across the board. Cruz not having the biggest game. However, as you say, Seeker there at the top, 5, 11, and 15, a neg 10. Not what you need right now.
No, definitely not. I was going to say, like, 56 kills, 42 assists, that's not too bad. That is quite good for XL. But the problem is the fact that with this online French squad now, the problem is the fact that, it's like I said before, if I don't take this first game and we use that momentum, then there probably will be downhill from there. But I think they've realised what a huge task it's going to be to take out XL, especially on a map like this.
I was going to say there, I would have been shouting at Ramirez there. I got the triple and say, leave my over, and then Ramirez you know, lands a left hook just to spite Flux a little bit.
Cluster luck Hail Mary as well from Chick that game was absolutely beautiful. But I like what you say in terms of it being an uphill struggle here for the FrenchConnection team. I honestly think it is, because on paper, this French squad is a group of 4 players playing quite individually, right? It's almost like a pickup squad. You're going up against XL, who have practiced for 3 online cups, won 1 of them, and are drilled from a LAN. They have LAN practice underneath their belts. So yeah, it's going to be an uphill struggle here for FrenchConnection if they're going to win this one, because it is essentially David versus Goliath right here.
Yeah, they work together quite a lot in some circumstances, but I think they need to get their priorities right, because they were going for tower a lot more than they should have done. And the only person playing that side was Chick, and that was when he had camo. But, you know, that's only going to last 30, 45 seconds, depending on how long he stays alive. So I think they kind of like, if they actually went for outside a lot more than tower control at the start, rather than making tower second priority, then they could have done a lot better. It could have been a lot better than they expected. But the problem is with XL, they weren't fighting for outside as much either. But the reason why Flux got those 2 sprees is because no one was contesting the OS as much, and no one was actually trying to stop him at all.
Well, let's have a quick look at the series layout. If you're just joining us, of course, use your Twitter account to tweet the stream, because we want as many people in here as we can possibly get tonight. Do me proud, Europe. North Americans, if you're watching as well, do me proud. Spread some European Halo love. But 100-40 was, of course, the first game, as we just saw there. Moving on to True Slayer. Now, Slayer, you talked about it, both of you there, I think you mentioned individual players on this French squad, not as much teamwork, not as well drilled. I feel they have to win a Slayer. I think this is their only opportunity to really get into the series. The objective game types, they're going to be a long way behind as far as teamwork and coordination is concerned. However, individual skills sometimes can bring you through on these Slayer game types.
Sometimes it can, but a lot of the time you're going to be seeing that kind of thing happen on maps with power weapons, right? Truth really isn't one of those maps. You can see the plasma pistol there top middle. That's the only real kind of power weapon on the map. Outside of that, it's all individual skill, but that's not how XL kind of plays this map. We'll start this one off with Flux, but they play this very, very teamwork orientated, as you should on Truth. And despite being 3 down at the start, Flux is going to give them these carbine spawns, and they're going to have to make a choice right here. They're going to have to try and push over to a base fairly soon, otherwise they're just going to start hemorrhaging these deaths.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not sure if anyone picked up camo there or if it was burnt at the start, but Flux is going to be on his own. As you say, though, that Ramirez is going to come off the respawn just at the right time. 4-1 the score, so a good early start, and it's actually Chick who once again missed the camo in this series so far. But look at this! All of Excel just swarmed down on him. Spotted for just a moment, and they prioritized that kill so well. And prioritizing kills, Harry, something that's so vital in these Slayer games.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when it's a camouflage player like that. We'll swap over to Snipe Drone, one of the players who puts down a lot of damage in Europe. One of the highest damage dealers. I think it's him and SLG probably tied for the top 2 in Europe for the amount of damage they put down for their team. And this man is just constantly looking for players to fight. I mean, look
how is he
look
alive?
at the shots he's putting down. That's 3 different players he's made weak right there, and that's going to allow players like Snaky right here to really take advantage of this height control in the base and start pincering the French squad of FrenchConnection at this carbine tower, just as XL were at the start of this game.
They're trying to actually wait for XL to push him and try and make a chance of a play, but how can you if everyone's literally looking in different ways, trying to concentrate on like multiple things? They're coming from multiple angles, forking around carbine, and this is exactly what happened. But it looks like, end of the day, they managed to come out on top anyway, so maybe that patience did actually pay off when they tried to push the actual FrenchConnection squad.
Yeah, I was genuinely impressed there by the baiting and switching coming in from that FrenchConnection squad. A couple of shots, as we saw, we were on the POVs, the XL players, a couple of shots they were taking, then backing down, another player coming in, finishing off. And that's communication. That's a testament to these guys talking to each other and making sure that they're aware of exactly who they're shooting and who they need to be shooting. The score currently is 10-9. Very, very close at the start. Ramirez with a big double kill, though. That's going to open up the map for Excel. We're on board with Snaky, though. He's going to be pushing P2. And if you look at the player outlines at the moment, you can see the last 2 players currently trapped in the blue base, but they're doing a good job once again at just staying alive.
That was such a cool move there from XL. Fair enough, they go down, but Snaky was crouched at P1, waiting for the entire FrenchConnection squad to push forward. Fair enough, they're dropping like flies at the moment as Seeker picks up Snaky, but I really love the play. I mean, we saw on the outlines 3 of the XL players push out of that carbine tower, and that's one of those coordinated pushes you'll see a lot from XL on this map. They had Snaky at pink 1 with a flank already behind the enemy team. He went into courtyard. A lot of players dying on the map right now, by the way. Can't seem to find a player who wants to get a kill on our screen, but yeah, I really like the play there from XL. Clearly something they've designed to kind of break a setup when they know that they're going to be kind of pressured from the enemy side, but everyone at the moment on the map seems to be going down, whoever we swap on board with.
Yeah, it seems at the moment that all the individual battles are being won by this French squad, and we're going to give Cruz a little bit of love here. Young player, obviously, trying to make his name in the Halo scene. Solar picks up a kill as well. Look at the score, gentlemen. A couple of spawn rotations here have heavily got in the favor of the FrenchConnection squad. 19 to 14. Snipdrain going to pick up a kill here at P2. Look at this once again. Aggressive pushing on this P tower. Chick manages to get another kill as well to bring it back to a 5-kill advantage. It's going to be Snipdrain here. Win this battle again, and Snipdrain does actually win that battle, and that's the kind of thing that might spark this XL squad back into life. Now just a 4-kill game.
I mean, why repeat that if you're Cruz? I mean, you missed the first shot, you had an opportunity to be up in that fight, and you still go back and fight. I don't know why you retake that fight. That's kind of quizzical.
Triple from Rami.
Right now, Ramirez is definitely
over from Rami.
Going in right now for XL, but yeah, that's a strange one for me from Cruz, in my opinion. You don't need to repeat that. He could have just jumped up on P3, and maybe Ramirez doesn't get that overkill if that happens, but wow. What a play from Rami, and now they were down by 5, now they're up by 3.
It's one of those situations where FrenchConnection knew XL were on Pink's side, so what you meant to do is, with FrenchConnection, they should have been patient, waited, hope for a crossfire, someone pushes Eli, and then make a move, but FrenchConnection have got the mindset where they're trying to be so aggressive with their strategic aggression, they're trying to like hope for the best and try and get away with certain circumstances, but you know, if they have got Pink's side, they know that someone's going to push around Common, they know they're going to push around Eli and underneath the base at some point, so just be patient and wait, but it looks like they're hoping just to be over-aggressive and get away with certain situations.
Yeah, Ramirez with that overkill, we didn't quite catch it, but we saw 4 kills in succession in the feed. What brings this game back to pretty much being tied up. Just 1 kill between these two teams at the moment. We hop over to the French squad and see some POV from Seeker. Solar picks up a kill on Ramirez. 27-27. Gentlemen, it's approaching the fabled 30 kill mark in a Slayer game. Why do you feel like the 30 kill mark is the thing that just separates two teams?
For me personally, it's about like not just camo, but sometimes there is a bit of wear and tear in their teamwork and their comms, because some teams do get a bit fed up here and there halfway through the game, where it's like, you know, they're trying to find out what's going on, because at the first half of any Halo game, normally it's quite consistent in terms of like what's going on and like all the start strats, etc. But in this kind of circumstance now, it's the fact that they can get a little bit sloppy with what they're doing, because they become a lot more separated, the spawns become a lot more split. Sometimes they don't focus on exactly what's going on with the spawn grid and what's happening, but it looks like right now, it's actually XL feeling a little bit more fatigued considering this circumstance. But it's like I said before, with FrenchConnection, they're playing really over-aggressive, even though it's not much strategic aggression involved and not being patient and waiting, they're actually getting away with it, and XL just letting them get away with its aggression, pushing into the base and stuff.
Yeah, Snipdrain going to be taken down by Chick. That was a good trade from Chick there. It was the last player alive for his squad. Managed to at least make sure that he took someone to the grave with him. 34-33 score. Still incredibly close, and it seems to just be swings back and forward at the moment of 2 or 3 kills between these two teams. Cruz here going to have 2 players from XL pushing him on the base. He's going to be able to work with his teammate, trying to take down Ramirez here, but some whiffy shots coming in from Cruz. Finally hits one on Snaky. Ramirez going to stay alive. 2 of his teammates are dead though. Ramirez is going to be down to no shields. Aggressive push coming in. Cruz is going to clean that one up, and look at this. Once again, a 3-kill swing now going down to the French squad. They're going to be up by 3.
Oh my lord, 3 XL players, all no shields right there, and they're going to drop like flies. I was going to say, it was so important for Ramirez to try and stay alive right there, because that camouflage was coming up. If Ramirez stays alive under that base, be a bit more of a nuisance for a little bit more time, it's going to allow his spawners to come under a little bit less pressure. Maybe they could have contested that camouflage, but as a result, Ramirez went down. And look at this kill feed now from the FrenchConnection squad. 43-35, camouflage and new combo with Chick. This is looking very healthy for them. I
was even talking about before with FrenchConnection, they should have just been patient and waited for XL to push when on Pink side, but it looks like XL made the exact same mistake. And for a team like this, they should be making mistakes like this. They're letting them get away with the aggression. They need to stop them before they get out of control. But it looks like now, from the score, it looks like they're already too much out of control. But the only way XL can do this now is to actually wait on their side. As soon as someone's weak, make a push. But it looks like with plays like that, with Rami trying to push underneath, I can understand why he did that, but it looks like there was already 2 guys at FrenchConnection expecting someone to flank from underneath. So that was great play by Chickens there.
That camo has turned into a 10-kill lead here for FrenchConnection. 3 kills to go for them to win game number 2 and tie up the series at 1-1, 38-49. 1 more kill to go. Is it going to be here? Snaky gonna just about stay alive and take down Seeker to elongate this game ever so slightly more. 2 players on the car side. We can see from the player outlines there, all players from XL are going to be sat side of the blue base. Is going to be Snaky actually, who's caught his own here, and look at the push coming in. Victory comes in 50-39. Wow. That final camo, a massive kill swing for the French squad, and they tie up the series, gentlemen, 1-1.
Interesting. I honestly didn't think XL would drop a map in this series, and look at this performance from Chick. 18 kills from him. A lot of it was down to that camouflage control just really well played from the FrenchConnection squad. That's going to give them a little bit of hope in this series. They take a Slayer, they take away one of those first 2 game types from XL, they make it a series, and now they're guaranteed at least a game 4 to try and win this series. I really like the way they played that.
I sort of point out as well with FrenchConnection, 50 kills and 46 assists. Their teamwork was absolutely on point. But it's like I said, these mistakes they're making, the XL are letting them get away with it. But at the same time, as I noticed in the second half of the game, I was talking about how some teams on the last third of the game, they can get a little bit sloppy, not just consistency in the series, but in certain particular games. You can see the inconsistency, because at the start, they would wait for FrenchConnection to push him and then hope for a 3v4 situation to get picked back. But it seems like towards the second half, maybe the last third of the game, they weren't making these mistakes, the same mistakes FrenchConnection were making.
Yeah, and one thing just to point out from those statistics we saw, finally got it out, was that Solar was involved in 28 of his team's kills. He had 10 kills and 18 assists, and I believe only 6 deaths as well. So, I mean, what a game from Solar, Harry.
Yeah, it was a big game, but I wanted to highlight on the, it was 8 deaths.
8 deaths.
8 deaths. So,
Apologies.
but I wanted to highlight the play that we saw on the replay package, where 3 of the XL players were kind of flooding out the base and they just got kind of swarmed by nades. When you're all put down to no shields in that kind of situation, that's a team fight you can't win. And you have to give up that camouflage. And in the end, that was the game-winning camouflage for the FrenchConnection squad. So that was actually a really key play that we saw in the replay package. When those 3 players all get taken down to no shields, that was the play that won the game or led to FrenchConnection winning that game, in my opinion. Yeah,
because normally a common strat to use when they actually push in, normally you have 2 from peak side, from Eli and the actual base itself. One will push underneath to fill, you know, any gaps where someone's actually dropped down no shield. But there's always that one guy on Carbine who will always flank round. Now, when 3 of them were weak in the base, they should have actually waited for that guy to come on Carbine. And if 3 of them actually drill them in, even with no shield, I might give them just about enough time to rebuild their shields and actually take on anyone coming from underneath and from Eli's side. But I think, it's like I said before, FrenchConnection was so aggressive, they didn't feel like they had time to actually think and actually even think about actually stopping the guy at Carbine side at the time.
Yeah, interesting. And I think we've got a series on our hands, gentlemen. You said yourself, Wonderboy, you didn't expect this French team to take a game in this series. Now that we're going to see a second Slayer in the series, do you feel like we could potentially go into a game 5 here?
We won't see a second Slayer.
Sorry, not a
second
second
game
Slayer.
5.
Sorry.
But this Fathom Capture the Flag game type, in my opinion, is one of XL's suspect game types, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you.
So if FrenchConnection use a little bit of that FrenchConnection, then maybe they could
pocket French magic.
If they win this game, obviously they would then be guaranteed a second Slayer, which isn't that game 5, and then it's anyone's game, really. So yeah, I think this is a really key game right here for FrenchConnection. If they can catch XL out on Fathom Capture the Flag, I honestly think it's a 50-50 going into game 5, because I honestly don't see XL losing that game 4 objective. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but honestly, I just see XL as a better, well-drilled objective team, in my opinion.
It was a key word you said there, suspect, because there is times of XL where they can be really good at Fathom CTF, and sometimes they're not. It's just a lot of inconsistency with that game type. But we've got to talk about FrenchConnected priority as well. When we saw the Empire Strongholds game, they were going for tower first most of the time rather than outside, which can play in their field depending on the circumstances of the opposite team, but it just wasn't necessary. So they need to make sure they get that time of control, make sure they get it when the flag's been pulled, to make sure you've got an overview of what's going on, to give you info for your teammates and make sure you actually push a certain side straight away. So FrenchConnection will probably be not as great in terms of like counter push and stuff when they go for the flag, but it depends on the situation and on how things go. If they do get mid control, do that rail, do get that camo, all these little things. But I'd be interested to see if they do what Supremacy did, where Supremacy would actually take a treehouse and all the way to their silo and, like, you know, break the meta a little bit, change things up a little bit. So yeah, you are right with it being suspect. XL, if they're going to have a bad day with this game type, you know, FrenchConnection have a good chance of even winning this possibly.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting game, and something definitely to highlight is the fact that the camo has essentially been in the hands of the French squad for the first 2 games. I know they didn't get a lot of the overshields in that game 1, but definitely controlled the camo well in that second game, and obviously the camo and that railgun going to be so vital, and I really feel like they're going to contribute to a win here. But let's have a look at the series layout. If you're just joining us, of course, tweet the stream, but we are tied up at 1-1. FrenchConnection winning game number 2, Truth Slayer, 50-39 there. Fathom Capture the Flag we're about to get into, and of course, it's going to be Eden Strongholds and the Rig Slayer to finish. Whew, I'm looking at this right now, and going into this series, I thought I would have to agree with you, Wonderboy. I was thinking maybe 3-0 XL, but things might be a little bit different now.
So actually, after seeing that Game 4 objective, I couldn't quite remember off the top of my head what it was. Eden Strongholds, that's another game type I actually don't fancy XL on either.
Very true.
There's a lot of power-ups and power weapons on that map. Obviously, the rockets, overshield, and the camouflage on that one. So yeah, I don't know, actually. I think there's multiple opportunities, in my opinion, for FrenchConnection to win this one. But back to Fathom capture the flag. I want to start this one off with Seeker, actually, because he's one of the players, in my opinion, that is one of the best up there with Lunny and the likes of Cristola, using that railgun, and that's going to be the focal point in terms of power weapon control on this map. But it's Mr. Camouflage himself grabbing the first one.
Yeah, he's going to be taken down straight away, so you have to give credit to Flux, who picks up 2 kills there. Railgun going to be in the hands of Snipe Drone as well, takes down Cruz. That's going to be 4 dead here for the FrenchConnection squad. Coming off the respawn, flag is already away, it's here. Snipe Drone does miss a shot there, unfortunately, but that could well be the first flag being capped. Although they haven't actually managed to get that one in, and Snipe Drone not hit too many shots here. Look like Flux is trying to get the touch on his, throws this one out and lands a beatdown as well. Ramirez is going to pick it up. Snipe Drone picks up another kill. This one should be pretty safely home now as Snaky comes in, picks up the collection, posts it at home, and that's going to be 1-0 Hill to Excel.
See, the FrenchConnection squad had to worry about Snipe Drone right there behind them. That's one of those plays where if the FrenchConnection squad just trust each other and just go all in for that recov, I honestly think they probably get it. But because Solar was distracted by Snipe Drone behind them with that railgun, obviously worried that he was going to come from behind and just take them all down with that power weapon, that kind of cost them that return. And as a result, it's XL putting in the first flag of the game.
Definitely. They were way too keen on trying to get that flag back as well. They were doing the right thing. There's still 3 of them left pushing on their side against 1 of the guys on the other side. And if they carried on pushing, they would have spawned BR and possibly got the flag back, just get a few spawn kills. But it looks like now, XL just getting way too carried away, and this could possibly be 2-0 in just under 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is going to be 2-0. We can see no overextendeds here from the French squad as well. They look like they've decided to give that one up, get control of their base again. Flux is going to be top mid as well with a light rifle. Any players who are going to be sneaking around as well, going to be taking down their shields pretty quickly with this weapon. We see 2 players here on blue. Treehouse does a good job in backing them up. 2-0 the score at the moment. And of course, that railgun's going to be popping and that camo very soon. So keep your eyes out for this one. And Flux is dropping just at the right time.
Yeah, I was going to say, FrenchConnection, they have to make some form of play. It looks like they're going to try and go into the XL base, ready for that camouflage coming up. But there is a flag being pulled right now by Snaky, and that's gone a fair distance away. That should really be a recon right here, but at the moment, they are still trying to rally this flag back. And don't forget, this is the final flag of the game. So if they don't get this return right here, and there it is.
Here we go.
Someone slides in. I'm not even sure who it was. I think it was Snaky actually coming off of the respawn to slide that one home. And they just didn't even care about that camouflage coming out. They were just like, hey, it's final flag. They need to worry about power weapons, power-ups. Let's just get this third and final flag.
I mean, that was ridiculous. Snaky got 2 kills and it was 3-0. Ramirez got 2 kills.
Hold on, how many caps did he get? He got more caps than kills.
Let's go, Snaky.
Nice.
Let's go. EU Halo lol.
I do apologise, 2 minutes and 38, but that's definitely one of the fastest Fathom CTF game time, especially in a winners final as well. You wouldn't expect it to be so quick, but you were right. They were either going to be suspects or they're going to be really good. But when they're on point on a game time like that, they just made them look as though they've not played in a while. Yeah,
I just want to say up into production, good luck with the replay package. I'm looking forward to this because the game, you had 2 minutes to get a replay package out of it, and you've done pretty well. Snipe Drone hitting some shots. And of course, this was the first flag cap that went in. Snaky, Mr. Flag Carrier Supreme himself, running all of those 3 flags in to win the game here for Excel. So now we're moving on to Eden Strongholds, gentlemen, because there's not much more to say about that game. It was over before we even started. Excel now just 1 game away from closing out the series.
Yeah, it's a hard one to dissect, honestly, there on Fathom. I mean, the key play of the game, in my opinion, that kind of set the tone for the rest of it was Snipe Drone kind of hanging back and kind of splitting the resources of the FrenchConnection team while they were trying to get that return. Like you said, they overextended. The half of the team that went for the return, they overextended, didn't get any kills, and that resulted in the flag going in. The other half that went back to get Snipe Drone never got him out of their base. So they were constantly having to worry about Snipe Drone behind them, and then all the while this was happening, we've swapped over to Snaky capping flags, Flux top middle, Rami doing Rami things, just getting the flag moving, and yeah, that's basically the summary of game number 3 right there. That was a quick one. I think that's one of the quickest ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely. Like with that first cap as well, it's the fact that I think the fact that even though Snipedrone was missing a lot of the shots with the rail and the pistol, it's just the thought in the back of their heads, knowing that someone's behind them and is just going to creep behind them the whole time. Presence is a huge factor. It doesn't matter how many shots you miss, you just be there and just let them know you're there. It's a huge factor. But the problem is the fact that they felt like that they didn't have time to go for the next spawn cycle and kill them. They just thought, let's just try and get the flag. If we get it, we get it. We don't, that's an easy cap. So maybe if Snipedrone wasn't behind them and didn't know he was actually there, just assumed that we can just leave him, they could have actually replaced the spawn cycle, because in a 3v1 situation, it would have been 3v2 if they killed Flux in the flag, and they could have kept it going whilst returning the next flag. So yeah, like I said, even though you have presence behind you, it can cause that massive factor to actually lose that cap.
Yeah, it's interesting as well to note that we've had some ridiculous Fathom capture the flag games in Halo 5. We've had overtimes, we've had replays. We just get it done in less than 3 minutes here in Europe. Game number 3, of course, going to XL 3-0. Now we move on to Eden Strongholds. Ooh, I mean, we thought this might be a big game, a swing game in the series before we saw the last game. Now it's become even more important for this French squad. Of course, they need to win this one, and they have a player in their team who's actually been Optic Gaming at Worlds on their team on this game type in Solar.
Yes, but I don't think the rest of his team can really gain confidence from that, because, I mean, different settings, different tournament, I mean, this is
time,
completely different environment right here. But yeah, Eden is one of those game types where XL have gone up against higher caliber competition in say Vexed or Infused, and they've really been found out in their power weapon control. So watch out for Flux on the squad right here to just make sure they're getting a hang of that overshield right there. You can see Flux already trying to play for this, but I'm surprised they didn't kind of just straight line for it, and they might just get Chick on the burn right here, but they don't even get the first one. Solar burns the camouflage, but that's overshield already going into the hands of FrenchConnection. 3 down from XL. This is what we're talking about. They put themselves already at a disadvantage in this game. They don't have rockets, they don't have overshield, and they don't know the timing on the camouflage.
Yeah, and look at that. I mean, Rami did a great job actually of managing to get a kill. He came off the respawn, trying to make a play towards that catwalk to get his team back into this. You have to give credit to Excel here. Somehow they've managed to get control of Top Cat. They've managed to stop the bleeding completely, only down by 3 points, and that's after they lost the overshield and the rockets at the start of this game. So, I mean, is this a case of maybe the FrenchConnection squad not pushing their advantages enough, Harry, or do you think this is just good play from Excel?
I think so. I mean, look at where we swapped over to Solar's positioning with this rocket launcher. Chick with 2 in the kill feed. He's having a great game so far, but if you have these rockets, fair enough, you want to kind of lock down at least one stronghold. He's doing so at red, but this really isn't a position where you're going to get high percentage rockets. I mean, fair enough, you can see the catwalk, but look at this. I mean, you get a single kill with that. That's a very strange position in my opinion. When there's 2 players pushing Red Ben from XL, you kind of have to move that power weapon over there to try and quell that push. Power-ups not for another 40 or so seconds, so a definite chance for XL to get themselves back into this game. Fair enough, there's only 3 points on the board so far.
Definitely one of the, I'm not going to lie, that was one of the worst players I've ever seen. When you've got rockets...
ever seen?
Yeah, well, when you've got rockets and you're on red side, not only are you blocking the spawns on red side, force them to spawn blue bridge and blue base in general, but the fact that it's going to actually make the guy security have more to deal with, because there's only one guy at security, and you know, when you've got 2 or 3 players charging the security, he's not going to be able to do anything. If he was outside around red side, he should have pushed around security, pushed around blue side, hold bridge and blue side, so at least that way he'll force them to spawn blue flag on the red outside. So it made no sense why he was sitting there. He knew he had to move, but for some reason he was hesitating, worried that people were actually pushing him.
This is strange, right? We're 2 minutes, more than 2 minutes into this game. The score is 7-4, and finally someone has control, and it's actually the French squad. New overshield's going to be popping, and the rockets have actually been picked up here by Snipedrone again. So here's the overshield. This could be pretty much useless if Snipedrone can hit this rocket, but no, Solar actually manages, Seeker manages to not die in that exchange, even though he ate 2 rockets. Now he's going to be moving up to his teammates who are going to get control of that red nest, and they're going to be scoring once again. So
you know why this score is so low right now? Now we're going to start to see some points on the board, but when we swapped over to Solar originally with those rockets, while he was down kind of red SMG, red cage area, they didn't even have red nest, so I don't know why he was there. I mean, whether he was kind of waiting for some of the XL players to push in. Only 2 strongholds were captured on the map at that moment in time. So yeah, I agree with you, Harry. He definitely should have moved those round to the turbine, but back into the game. Some very suspect positions being kind of taken right now from the XL squad. That's a strange peek again from Seeker. Very scrappy from both sides, in my opinion. Definitely both sides kind of not playing their A game at the moment. I mean, looks like XL finally going to formulate a push, but I think Ramirez actually naded his teammate in Snipedrone. So Snipedrone
goes down. So wow, the
teammate from Rami Snipe Drone, he's not going to be happy about that one.
Oh, wow.
Solar picks up some kills as well. He's desperately trying to get the reset on Red Nest as well, but Ramirez is going to come in and pick up a back smack to just stop that. But, I mean, Solar did such a good job of staying alive, and we talk about staying alive. Oh, boy, Cruz hitting some blue missiles now, looking for another one as well on Snakey. Narrowly misses his ankles as he manages to escape into the security tower, but that's going to be 3 dead here. Again for Excel, and look at this immediately, the pressure they've decided to push this Red Nest. They want this triple cap. These French guys are hungry.
So this is the kind of area of the game, if you're the FrenchConnection squad, where you can put this game to bed. The last 2 power-ups and rocket launcher spawns really didn't play into the favor of XL. I mean, we saw the majority of the rockets going into the hands of Supremacy. We saw a couple burn to take down an Overshield player from an XL player, but look at this now. I mean, they're down 53-7. They're probably not going to grab this Overshield. Snakey did just pick up the camouflage, so if I'm Snakey right now, I'm getting to a position where I can see this Overshield player ASAP, but yeah, and that's going to be a free kill right there. Snakey is the last alive here with camo, so important he stays alive right here. Otherwise, the hopes and dreams of XL on Eden right here could be dashed in the bud, and we could be going to a game 5.
It does confuse me a little bit as well. With FrenchConnection as well, they're actually giving up security and bridge quite a lot. And the thing is, though, XL are giving it to them on a play. Yeah, XL aren't actually sitting there getting bridge and holding the setup and getting ready for the next push. They're literally just rushing in like they are with FrenchConnection. But it looks like FrenchConnections are the ones actually getting away with it a lot more. But hopefully, with Flux now, with rockets, you might be able to do something. But as I'm saying that now, it looks like they could possibly get that Red Nest back. But when we get the rockets, we'll find out in a sec.
Yeah, Ramirez is going to move up there, but all the battles seem to be being won again by this French squad. Solar picks up a kill here. Cruz now putting the pressure on the Red Nest, and this is what I'm liking, what I'm seeing from this French squad. Yes, Ramirez picks up that kill on Cruz, but when you're in a position where you have to force a stronghold cap, when you look like you're making a push and it looks like you're going to cap, if you have one player from the opposition then rotating to a stronghold that you do have control of, it gives you that dilemma. Do I go back? Do I push forward? Do I continue what I'm doing? Or do I try and help my teammates out to keep hold of what we have? So you have to give credit here to the French squad, although things have turned around a little bit here for Excel. For the first time on this map, they're going to have a momentary triple cap, but the French squad do manage to get control of that blue bend straight away. Ramirez is going to be sat up with the battle rifle here, and that's going to be 1 dead. A snipe drone takes down Chick, and it looks like Ramirez is just sat up here, just waiting patiently for some of these French players to approach his Red Nest, where he's going to try and shut the door. But I like what I'm seeing, pushing through into Red. From this French squad, Ramirez has a fantastic vantage point here, but it's going to be Chick who's trying to take him down. Rami doing a great job of staying alive here, as well as laying down shots. All Ramirez has to do here is just be a nuisance, because this French squad know that they can't push while Rami's here.
I mean, where is this turbine push coming in right now from the XL squad? I mean, there are no red outlines around there, and that's going to allow Cruz with the rockets. He's going to have now a little bit of control over here, especially with his power weapon. No communication as to when the power-up's coming up, though, and that's going to allow rockets and the Overshield going into the hands of an XL player. That's Snipe Drone, but yeah, very questionable in my opinion. Why weren't XL fighting for those weapons? They got very lucky that Cruz didn't know the timing on that. Otherwise, they could have been on the blunt end of an Overshield rocket player.
I'm not going to lie, with Cruz, he is quite hard to kill on a lot of the times, but it was taking a mick a little bit, considering it was a no shield. He probably thought he could absorb another 5 bullets, you know. But anyways, when he was down there, he should have actually been on turbine with rockets waiting for it. He shouldn't have literally sitting himself on Overshield, just assuming that no one from XL is going to push. He's got to remember, it's not matchmaking now, but as I'm saying it as well, Mike got a really nice double, probably a triple, but I think he's done enough work as it is. But only sad things to have, he's lost security, but the main thing is that someone else is in security. 2 of them now waiting on the bridge side, getting ready for the next push by FrenchConnection. Yeah,
I think Snipe Drone was looking to land that rocket in the Red Nest. If he would have hit that player who just poked out from the corner, that would have been something. But that rocket found its home, found its mark on that Red Nest, took down that player. And now Excel, look at the score, gentlemen. Bottom right-hand side of your screen, just 19 points now between these 2 players. Ramirez and Snakey picking up kills as well. Map control in the hands of Excel here. It's going to be Ramirez. He's trying to time this push in. Can Rami pick up a big kill here?
Wow.
Teammate comes in, though. Flux is going to help him out. And it's actually going to be Ramirez now desperately trying to recap this blue bend. They do manage to do that. Look at this, a triple cap in effect. Although the guys on the FrenchConnection squad are just 12 points away from closing this one out, Excel are steaming back into this and they're making a play of their own.
Well, I mean, we speak about Ramirez a lot on broadcast and how he kind of overextends sometimes, kind of pointless deaths, right? But One thing I love about Ramirez's play is the times he stays alive and makes it so difficult for you to kill him. There was a moment right there where he was just kind of peeking Turbine and putting shots on all the players. He was in a very unorthodox angle, kind of where you sit and wait for that overshield, which, by the way, is coming up right now, which is why you see Ramirez kind of hanging around this area. But yeah, while he was putting all those shots down, he was giving information to his team, and look at the
oh boy,
playing with, going for ninjas, getting ground pounds. That's, in my opinion, probably the game with Snipe Drone and this overshield right here. They need to take it down soon, otherwise this is probably going to be curtains and Sika. He has absolutely no chance in that fight.
Yeah, this is really turned around very quickly. Just 10 points. Look at this Flux. All he has to do right now, we can see 3 players are just trying to prioritize a push around red here for the French squad. But he does get taken down. 2 kills go down to the French squad here. They have to make a play immediately. Looks like they're pushing to that red nest. They have somehow managed to scrape away control of Catwalk as well. So I don't know what's happened here for Excel. Cruz is going to lay a shoulder into Snipe Drone. And it's going to be 6 points left for Excel here to win the game. But look at this. It could be a triple cap and camo in the hands of Chick here.
And they also have rockets in the hands of Solo. I'm not sure if he has any left, but 2 kills going in their way. This is very dangerous, actually, from XL. Solo did just go down, but if they can salvage those rockets, they have a chance of stealing this game away from XL, despite XL's miraculous comeback.
Oh, big win from Rami.
That is a big win. You're absolutely right. Him staying alive right there means he can help his teammate out with Catwalk. It's the only stronghold they have, but while we're speaking about this, the points are racking up for FrenchConnection right now, and this is going to come down to the wire. Very big fight coming up right here.
The only point is the fact of XL now. They've still got 1 dead, nearly 2 dead now.
Oh, Solo!
They're alive, but literally just as we're doing it, looks like FrenchConnection could actually take the game now.
2 points left. Sika gets the reset on the
dead.
Catwalk. All dead. It's going to be the French squad who take game number 4 here. What a play coming in from Solar to stay alive in that red nest and win that battle. The French squad tie up the series 2-2. First series of the day. LCQ, we're going to a game 5.
I mean, the good and the bad Solar. 20 and 16 from him. I said while he was on Supremacy, the #1 squad of France, he was very inconsistent, but that's the kind of playmaking ability he gives the squad. 20 and 16 from him, 17 kills and 14 assists from Chick as well as numerous camouflages. 22 kills from Ramirez. We said he's having a great game.
Definitely. I was going to say as well, like with XL, like, you know, you have to give them their dues. Like, they were down by 60, 70 points at one point to make a comeback like that. But the turning point was the fact that with FrenchConnection, they had 3 people security, but they've been patient. If there's any time to be patient and make a move, it was definitely then. As soon as I got that bridge control, they literally went straight for Nest, grabbed that, and then flanked around across to the blue side.
That was the worst play you've ever seen in Halo. I'm doing the inverted commas thing here. But, you know, he made one of the best plays I've seen in Halo at the end there, staying alive in that red nest. This is just a highlight show. Such a back and forth game, and it's one of the reasons that I love Eden Stronghold so much. You are never out of this game. And we have to give credit to Excel, you know. They made, as you say, Harry, made a fantastic comeback in the middle of that game, but towards the end there, just that one play. Also, I would like to see who managed to get control of that Catwalk at the end, because they were in a triple cap.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic play. I think it was Chick, actually, we jumped on board with right at the end of the game. But, I mean, it was a very suspect again from XL. I mean, there were numerous times in that game where rockets were coming up, Overshield was coming up. They had absolutely no Turbine presence. They were all at tower, going for Catwalk, and you can't do that on Eden Strongholds and expect to come out with the win. Don't forget, they spawn on red side, the side that is more favorable to grab the Overshield. They didn't get the first Overshield. It was Chick who grabbed that one. So definitely things to work on, in my opinion, there from XL and Eden Strongholds, because their power-up and power weapon game on that map is pretty atrocious. I mean,
the execution, it wasn't so much getting them, the execution was just lacking so much.
One thing I will say is that we saw a few camouflages. We didn't see it on screen, but a fair amount of camouflages from Snakey. So that's the silver lining. His job, obviously, on the team is to play that camouflage role. He was doing it pretty well, but then as soon as we saw the French squad, FrenchConnection, sorry, I almost said Supremacy right there. As soon as we saw the French guys come in and start to steal away a little bit of that Catwalk control, then we didn't see as many camouflages come into play. I mean, we saw at the end, Chick again with a camouflage when he was taking that blue bend. Yeah, very suspect in my opinion from XL. I mean, they now find themselves in the most unlikely of game 5s.
It was at the end as well. It's the fact that XL left security completely open. They all charged across to get a red nest, but look what happened in the end. So I even said before in the past, is the fact that FrenchConnection, they're not a team to look across, and taking XL to a game 5, that's saying something so far.
Well, XL have already won 1 game 5 today against Endpoint. But now they find themselves in a second Game 5. Tweet the stream, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a Game 5 to start the broadcast. Excel versus FrenchConnection. We are moving into the Rig Slayer, gentlemen. The game is already underway in the background as well. Woo! I mean, one player I definitely want to watch on this. We've seen him in the online cups. Mr. Killing Frenzy himself. It's got to be Flux.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely has to be. But Snipe Drone, again, is another player that you need to watch out for on this map. Snaky, so far this game from Excel, so far this series has been playing very, very well on that power-up. And Camouflage going to be the focal point on this one. Look out on the player cards who grabs the Camouflage and that sniper rifle as well. But yeah, looks like it is going to be Mr. Camouflage himself. We've got Chick on the other side, but for XL right now, he's the man getting all the power-ups. He's got another Camouflage right here.
Ooh, not only that, he's found himself a sniper rifle as well. So good start here from XL. Cruz trades a kill out though. But look at this. Snaky could have a field day here. Has all of the players, but look at this, the rotation coming in immediately. I think they're more than aware that they have to make a push here, this French squad. Almost completely exchanged position. Snaky misses a shot here, could give away his position. They now at least know that the sniper rifle is in the hands of one of these players, but I like what I'm seeing here from Snaky, trying to play this one pretty aggressive. Missing a few shots here though. He's going to be called out immediately. This could be a huge kill if he goes down, but manages to stay alive, takes down a player as well. So 4-3 here. Camo being used by Snaky just to feel out this FrenchConnection squad at the moment. Now he's just going to set up hard scope in on this barrels and try and pick up a few heads.
I almost feel like he could be using this sniper a little bit more actively, in my opinion. I mean, this angle, not really the best of angles. He will find Cruz, who's already weak right there, so that's going to pay dividends. And now he has a little bit of a jump on some players, but again, not the most orthodox of angles right there being taken from Snaky, and luckily he's getting out of dodge, and the FrenchConnection squad isn't really punishing him from that kind of suspect angle right there. But yeah, it was in the end a positive play from Snaky. He's still alive with this sniper, and he can still use it to put +1s on the board.
I think the problem was the fact that when they saw Snake in the front line on yellow side, the FrenchConnection squad, that's just assumed that they were going to come from open and bottom basement, which it wasn't the fact. They actually pushed around the same side. So it really put him off guard completely. And look, so with Snake with his snipe now, he could potentially extend the lead if he finds out where this last guy in the bunker is.
Not only that, this is a really good position to be in for when that Camouflage is coming up. You've got height control. You can see if any players are dipping down into that sewers area once they grab that power up to try and stay alive. So yeah, good power position play right here. And check out the player cards. Snipe Drone has the scatter shot in his back pocket. I believe it's going to be an XL player to grab the Camouflage fairly soon, but ground pound did just come in. Not sure if the Camouflage has been burnt just yet. In fact, it's going to be Ramirez just grabbing that one off of our screen. So another Camouflage going into the hands of XL.
Yeah, look at this score, 16-6, and Snaky still has that original sniper rifle as well. Ramirez is going to be calling out all sorts of information here. Sees all of the FrenchConnection players above him on that Engine 2 area. Ramirez now, this is where he can win games here, but look at this, spotted out by Solar immediately, and look at the collapse coming in here from the French squad. They have the scatter shot as well. What a play from Solar, spotting out Ramirez. And again, it's just one of those plays we see from Rami sometimes. Yes, he's trying to make the right play there, but it just didn't go his way that time.
Yeah, I think it's actually very unlucky.
I totally agree.
It's a good idea. You want to be active with that Camouflage. You want to call out that information for your teammates, and as a result of all that information gained, and now look, they've got so many kills off of that. Fair enough, he dies with Camouflage, but they were able to suss out exactly where all the players were. Snaky's going to grab himself another sniper. In fact, no, he's just gone down, so it's going to go into the hands of Flux, and now it's his turn to play with this weapon. But yeah, I actually kind of like the play from Ramirez. It's so disappointing when you see players with that power-up kind of not play it to the best of their abilities. Fair enough, he went down, but all the information gained turned it into a massive amount of kills here for XL.
No, absolutely. Even though he did get found out by Solar's camo eyes, he managed to delay enough time, 5 to 7 seconds, for Rami to say, quick, come now, there's two coming after me. If you push now, it'll be a 3v2 situation, which they did do. And they've been flipping the spawns back and forth again to extend their lead from 8 to 12 now. But now, FrenchConnection needs to figure out a way on what they're going to do. Are they going to push all around yellow and try and push around side and flank him? Are they going to get someone weak at nest and then push around the sides in? They need to really think about and decide how they're actually going to flank this. Because right now, they have got a better side, but it makes no difference if it gets to the point now where they need to go around. But if Camo come up in 10 seconds, now there's a chance to actually make a comeback.
Yeah, as you say, Camo coming up with Flux, timing that scatter shot off the respawn as well. So that weapon, which has been controlled by XL for essentially the entirety of this game, they now have a time on that, and little things that, macro things like that, controlling that timing on that scatter shot can win you games. Snipe Drone going to pick up a beat down here on Chick and have another player in front of him, tries to bounce a scatter shot off the floor there. 28-16 the score, though. It's going to have to be a big run coming in from the French squad now.
Yeah, Ramirez getting the second camouflage in a row for his squad. And yeah, Snaky has the scatter shot, like you said. XL have been timing that to a point, and that really is the difference between the two teams. I mean, we spoke about it at the start, at the top of the series, that this XL team is a LAN practice team. These guys have been drilling scrims constantly, ready for HCS London. They didn't have the performance they wanted. They have to get it done here in this last chance qualifier because of that. And I really feel like you're seeing the difference here on Rig Slayer. Right now, it looks like FrenchConnection, a squad full of individuals, not timing that power up, kind of forgetting about timing the scatter shot as well, which is something you have to do at this level of play. Yeah, I honestly think this one's probably over by now.
Absolutely, yeah. Right now as well with Rami, he's doing the same thing again. He had camo that's going around engine 1, and he's making sure it's going to be a complete nuisance for Snipe Drone and Flux just to go round and actually stop him. But we need to keep tabs on that carbine spot now. There's two of them there. They're going to try and push back to Elo to try and get sort of map presence now. But now Rami just trying to make sure to see if anyone pushes open side, so he can call out for his teammates and tell them to push through Snipe Tower and push through around the yellow side now, as you can see.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is not looking good. I mean, it sounds obvious, but when it's a situation sometimes where teams down a lot of kills, if they have power, they can get power weapons and control. You know, there's always a chance in Slayers to come back. However, all I am seeing at the moment, if you look on the player cards, it's always pistols versus either battle rifles, scatter shots, snipe, camo. XL just doing such a good job of controlling everything on this map.
Speaking of snipe and camo, that's just appeared on the map. Snaky with his second snipe of the game, and also the camouflage coming up. Don't forget, it was Ramirez who grabbed the last couple, and you have to feel like if you're a FrenchConnection fan, if you want them to win this series, he's almost a 2-for-1 right there. 2 in a row though from Snaky. They have to grab this camouflage. FrenchConnection, they need this next power up if they want any form of hope of winning this game. They need this next power up, and if they don't get it, it's going to be all she wrote, almost definitely.
Yeah, Snaky hitting some important shots towards the end of this game. Look at this though, Cruz decides to take that weapon out of his hand. Chicks managed to get the camo. If he can stay alive here, this could be huge. Ramirez is going to be behind him though, manages to get out of dodge somehow with this camouflage. So part 1 of the comeback, getting control of sniper rifle, getting control of that camo. FrenchConnection have pulled it off somehow. Chick here going to have the camo, playing this one nice and slowly, just trying to feel out a few players here. We see one player there going to be below him. Cruz wins a battle there against Ramirez. Flux is going to be taken down as well here, potentially with his camo, if he can hit a shot, that is. Finally takes down Flux. They only have 5 deaths to work with, however. Oh, Cruz hits a nice shot here. Can he hit another one on Snipe Drone? Narrowly misses, goes for the no-scope, doesn't connect with that one either. Snipe Drone puts another kill on the board to take it to just 4 kills now. Snipe Drone taken down in the nest. Look at this scoreboard here. 3 kills going down here for the French squad. Excel. You only have 4 kills to go right now. You don't need to make these plays. You need to play it slow. Oh, he's going to hit another shot here on Snipe Drone. Is this going to happen, gents?
I honestly think it's a little bit too far, in my opinion. If this score is 40-34 right now, I honestly see FrenchConnection coming back in this one. But you can see when Solo goes down, if Cruz goes down right here, they're only going to need 2 more kills, and there you go. Only 2 points to win right here from the XL squad. Again, if that score is that little bit closer, if they do it a little bit quicker, if they get one of those earlier camouflages, it's 100% doable, but it's just too little too late right here.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. If it was like 10 kills, possibly you've got a smidge of a chance, but it looks like that's then, you know,
we're done.
Excel take it.
Excel take it, 50-37. They win their second game 5 of the day. Boy, these guys are giving us a heart attack, and I'm sure their hearts are racing at the moment. They managed to close out the series as we have the scoreboard on your screen right now. Oh, yikes, as you say, double yikes. Solar, 3, 6, and 18 deaths. Made to play the one of the Eden Strongholds games, but he made enough plays to lose them that one. 18 deaths. You can't be doing that in a Game 5 Slayer.
Absolutely not. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt of his damage dealt. He's up there with Chick as well, who had 1 more assist and 4 more kills. But this is what I was talking about of Solo when he was on that Supremacy squad. We've seen how they can perform up to their previous standards now with Urix on that squad instead of Solo. But again, there's just that odd, inconsistent performance here and there from Solo that kind of costs his team games. If he doesn't get maybe half of those 18 deaths, then it's at that scoreline I was talking about. If it was 40-32, 40-34, if Solo isn't running out, dying over and over and getting caught out, they have a chance to win that game, absolutely, but his amount of deaths in that game just limited their potential to win it, and in the end, it was XL who came out with a W.
I think that's the problem as well with Solo. It's the fact that he got to a point where we can see from the 18 deaths he tried too many times to actually make a few plays. But, you know, even with Empire Strongholds, it's just the fact that he was being too passive. But now it's like 3 and 18, he's being too aggressive. And he's just constantly just trying to make things happen. And I think with his teammates as well, I think they were more on the hesitant side, trying to be too passive, waiting for something to happen. So I think a bit of miscommunication from there, from the FrenchConnection guys.
Yeah, I think miscommunication is a good way to see it. We've all been there when we've been trying to make plays for our teams, right?
I got this, guys.
We're dropping 20 deaths in Slayers. Lads, why
you weren't pushing with me.
Come on, guys. I'm making opportunities for you guys to make plays.
I'm going to dig into my bag of excuses.
It's not my fault. It's your fault.
You're not as smart. You don't think as quick as me. That's always one I used to say.
But there's
like, you're not on the same wavelength, man. Come on.
Two sides to the coin. If they play as aggressive as Solar, maybe they could have won that game. If Solar doesn't play as aggressive, maybe they could have won that game.
But the main thing is the fact that it's 3-2. So they might think to themselves, you know what, we still got a chance to do this. There's still a way for us to actually beat these guys. Because if it was a 3-0, they'd probably be a bit more demoralised. I think, well, you know what, it's going to be a really tough ride, so we have to really make something happen. But because the series are so close, apart from that final game, they're probably going to think to themselves, you know what, if we really give our all and do our best in the loser bracket, in the elimination bracket run, and then get to the grand finals, then they could actually potentially beat them at some point.
Well, if you're just joining us, let's have a quick look at the series layout. We had a Game 5 to start out today's LCQ, and oh boy, what a series it was. XL 100-40, that first Empire Strongholds game. Then the FrenchConnection boys, they answered back 50-39. XL with a very, very swift 3-0 in that Fathom CTF inside 2 minutes and 30-odd seconds. And then a crazy, crazy Game 4. That Eden Strongholds 100-95 in the last few moments. They stole that one away. And then we just saw XL close out the series with a dominant performance on the rig in that Slayer game. XL, they're going to have the opportunity to take a little break now. Obviously, they're going to advance. But, I mean, 2 Game 5s for them so far. I mean, it's going to take out you.
Big red flag on the plus side. Like you said, they get a break now. They have that best-of-7 buffer in the grand finals to make it to HCS Denver. The bad side, they've been to 2 Game 5s to teams they really should be beating quite handedly. 3-1, 3-0 fashions. So, big red flags, in my opinion, from XL eSports. Luckily, they're in the grand finals, and they have that best-of-7 advantage, but I wonder whether or not that might just play in their minds when they're in that grand final, and they have that kind of buffer of that series advantage over the enemy team. Whether or not it might just come back and play in their minds.
I think XL probably need a break as well, because if they've done the last couple of matches have been 3-2, so a break's probably what they need. But the problem is with FrenchConnection, they have to fight their way through that elimination bracket now. And it makes you think, well, how fatigued are they going to be going to the grand final? Will even make it to the grand final? Will Endpoint or Capital Punishment even stop them, or make even kind of threat if they get to the grand final instead? So with XL, you know, there is some, not just dents in the armour, but some serious dentage going there at the moment. So, you know, XL aren't what they're cranked up to be. So even though they're the favourites going into this and it's their tournament to lose, they're slipping up a little bit here and there. So it could be an interesting few next rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few cracks in the armour already, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a very quick break. When we get back, we will show you the semi-final of the elimination break.